Welcome to Punch Perfect Boxing and our video on shifting. Basically, what is shifting? Shifting is where you transition from one stance to another, either going forward or coming back. So if I'm in an orthodox stance and I want to shift forward into a southpaw stance, this is what I'll do. Just step through and I'm into a southpaw stance. If I'm in an orthodox stance and I want to transition backwards, shift backwards, I'll just bring the back foot through. Now it's really important when you make these shifts to remember that your backhand now becomes your lead hand and your lead hand now becomes your backhand. And it's really important to drill that into your system in the gym. So spend some time shadow boxing on the bag, on the pads, in a southpaw stance. So it isn't unnatural. So when you shift through, it feels good. And also remember that, like I said, your backhand becomes your lead hand becomes your backhand. Now what a lot of people like to do when they do the shift is they use it for power. So my opponent is there, I've shifted through and I've thrown a really strong punch at them. And sometimes they'll throw a punch like this and they'll bring the other foot through and they'll go 1-2 like so. Right. What I like to do is I like to use the shift when my opponent's given me a little bit of distance between me and himself. He's moved away a little bit, I've caught him with a few shots, he wants to get a little bit of distance, a little bit of respite, and what I'll do, let's say he's moving over that way, what I'll do is I'll bring the shift in. I won't throw a punch, but I'll shift in and I'm ready to throw a jab. If I need to cut that space down even more, I'll shift back into orthodox and I'll cut that ring off. Very important when you do the shift to make sure you don't overstep. Don't overstep and throw your punches off balance. And you don't get caught when you're transitioning. So it's very important to have a sense of the distance between you and your opponent. So as you bring your leg through, you don't want your opponent just right there because that's asking for disaster. Now, shifting backwards, very important thing to remember is you'll see a lot of people, when they shift backwards, they might shift it forward into southpaw, now they shift backwards into orthodox, right? They'll kind of take that little bit, a couple of seconds, little split second to get their balance right. And that's the problem. Now, if you want to see the dangers of not drilling in at every stage of the transition of shifting backwards and forwards, you must be able to throw punches and you must be able to throw strong punches and be in balance all the time. Now if you go and look at Ward versus Kovalev 2, you'll see, if you just stay there Patrick, you'll see that Kovalev takes a step forward and tries to land a few southpaw jabs, right? He then comes back, Andre Ward comes in, right? Kovalev takes a little step and throws a jab, hits Andre Ward, but it's not a strong jab, and it doesn't make Andre Ward think. Right? Andre Ward takes it, it's a weak jab, because he's not transitioned back properly. It's a weak jab, Andre Ward takes it and then throws the right hand over the top, and that's where you saw the beginning of the end for Kovalev in Kovalev 2. So, just stand over there for me. So, if you're in southpaw stance, you've gone from orthodox to southpaw, you've thrown a couple of shots, then you come back and it's really important to drill in that strong jab. And as you come back, not this kind of start step and then throw the jab. Because you really do need to learn, and I'll stress this is really important, that when you actually transition back, you've got a really strong jab and you're in balance. Really important to drill that in. So Patrick, go back and come forward, jab. That's it, go back, not too wide a step, come in, jab. That's it, go back, jab. Come forward, jab. That's it, step back, jab. Come in, jab. And close distance down and step back. That's it, keep me off. So I'm going to go backwards, so come in and jab. No, transition through it. Yeah? So I'm going to go backwards and transition through. That's it, that's good. That's it, go back, jab. Come forward, jab. Shift, jab. Go back, jab cross. That's it, good man. Jab. Come forward, jab. That's it. Just nice smooth transition through. So just bring that foot through. Now I want you to punch, go back to orthodox, And I want you to punch as you come through. So I'm getting full force of that transition right through. That's it, good. Yeah? So just let the body swing right the way through. Good man. Great example of world-class shifting is if you go and watch the Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder fight. Now you see, Tyson got Wilder backing up. And what he did, he went from one side of the ring to the other, Wilder backing up, and Fury shifting, throwing shots the whole time, and making Wilder back up. Beautiful, perfect technique. Another guy who uses it a lot, and maybe too much, is Jeff Horn. But you'll see, Jeff Horn comes in and it's kind of this blitzkrieg attack. And it's very easy when someone's coming in like this, and they're doing it over and over again, which is another downfall of shifting. Just use it sparingly. If someone like Jeff Horn is coming in and throwing shots and they're blitzkrieging you, it's very easy. There's the railway track, step off. You know? It's very difficult for him to adjust as he's coming forward in that forward momentum. With this shifting footwork and throwing punches out of these shifting stances, there is another variant you can use. If you go and look at the Sergey Kovalev versus Cedric Agnew fight, and I think it's the third knockdown, I think it's the final knockdown, what Kovalev does, he closes the distance between him and Cedric Agnew, and what he does is he's right there in front of him, and he'll take a drifting step off to the outside. Take himself off the line, Agnew's right there, he's taking himself off the line, out of the line of fire, and his hip is cocked like so, and he throws a beautiful left hand right down the pipe. And this is what gets Agnew out of there. But he's taking this step to the outside, short step, Agnew's right there, he's got his head out of off the centre line, and now he's throwing this huge backhand. Hip is perfect position to throw that shot, and that's another variant that you can use with this drifting, this shifting footwork. Now what we're going to do is show you a couple of drills to drill in that shifting footwork, the balance and the punches. Right, so let's do it slowly first, Patrick. Yeah. Right, left, right, left, right, backwards, left, right, left, right. Difficult, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Come forwards, left. That's it. Come forwards, right. Come forwards, left. Come forwards, right. Go backwards, left. Go backwards, right. Go backwards, left. Go backwards, right. It's good, man.
No, 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 no.